In this video, I want to talk about 92 and 5/8 inch tall wall framing studs versus 92 and a quarter inch wall framing studs. These are the ones we use out in Southern California. And believe it or not, I have never ever seen a 92 and 5/8 inch wall framing stud or any lumber that size. However, there are plenty of people who have and who haven't seen 92 and a quarter inch wall framing studs. Now, I'm here to figure out why we use 92 and 5/8 inch wall framing studs, because I often have a difficult time nailing the tops and bottoms of the framing plates with 92 and a quarter inch wall framing studs. I can't imagine adding another 3/8 of an inch. So feel free to share your opinions with us on this or reasons why we use it, because I know there's got to be a good reason out there. And if I do find the reason, I will post it at the top of the comments. But as for right now, I haven't found any advantages for installing interior drywall or exterior shear panel. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 92 and a quarter inch, where we will have a little under 3/4 of an inch if we leave an 1/8 of an inch gap in between the sheets of shear panel. And we're going to have a little more than 3/4 of an inch at the top. And realistically, we're going to have the same thing here. So if we're just going to base this off of a minimum of 3/4 of an inch is all we're going to need to nail the perimeter of the shear panel. And our upper or lower framing plates are not going to be more than 1.5 inches thick, or gaps between the framing plates and the wall framing studs. To nail shear panel, then I don't think we're going to have a problem. So let's go ahead and zoom in on the top here, where we're going to have at least 7/8 of an inch. And if we angle our nails, this is something else I've done before, even though I'm not sure that an engineer would like this. But it beats just having a little over 3/8 of an inch in between the perimeter of the shear panel and the center of the nail. And if you're using OSB, I've seen this plenty of times, and I've seen it on plywood where it just chips off a section of it, where it might not have done that if the nail was a little farther away from the edge. And at the bottom, we're going to have enough room, again, if we're using our 3/4 of an inch. And don't forget, you could always readjust the height. It does not have to be the same as what we're looking at in this example. Next up, let's take a look at installing drywall. I have 1/2 inch drywall here. And if we attach the top sheet to our ceiling joist, it's going to give us just a little bit under 1/2 inch here. And then no gaps here. But I don't get this part. Why do we need a larger gap at the bottom here? And if you're using 5/8 drywall, then you're going to have a little smaller gap. And the last thing I want to mention as for an argument against using longer wall framing studs would be if an engineer requires specific nailing for the drywall so that the drywall can increase the shear strength of the wall. And if it's difficult to nail the bottom of the drywall, then you're going to be back to the same problem I already mentioned in the video.